wonderful life. And growing up, I would go half a year to school in Texas, because in those days, Congress would start session in January and go from January till June or July or maybe August, but usually before that. And then, so I would go to school from January till June in Washington. And then I would go back to Texas, and all of us would, Daddy, Mother, and the dog, and Lucy. We'd all go back to Texas. And then I would go to school in Texas from August until December. So I felt that I really got a bum deal, because I had to go to school from August to June. That was way too. And then I went off to the University of Texas. And by that time, my father was vice president. But in those days, the vice president wasn't such a big deal either. And I went into Kinsolving Dormitory, where I was going to be living. And one of the girls there said, "Oh, I want you to meet, this is Lynda Johnson. Her father's the vice president." And one of the girls said, "The vice president of what?" So, you have to remember, you're not quite as important as you think you are. I think the first one was President Monroe's daughter, Hester Mariah Monroe. Because I was a history student, so I studied up on this. But I was the first one to have a big wedding in a long time. My predecessor was Alice Roosevelt Longworth. They called her Princess Alice. And Teddy Roosevelt said, "I can either be president or I can take care of Alice. I can't do it." I was married. Tricia Nixon was married. But she was married in the garden, and I was married in the house. Big difference. I am claiming it. But we were invited, Lucy and I were invited to Tricia's wedding, and it was lovely. It was lovely.